We have arrived at what I consider to be the pivot point of the Unitarian Universalist yearly dance. We flow together into community in September with the water ceremony. We enter the dark of the year honoring our losses with the ritual of mourning. Then we move through the dark nights to arrive here at the fire ceremony when we celebrate that light that is at the heart of all life. And after this, we head towards March to rejoice in the renewal of life, and we close out the chalice year with the flowers, honoring the joyful diversity of life. This dance through the chalice seasons and through the seasons of life goes ever on, even as the people dancing the dance change. So today, here we are at our fire ceremony, which, like all our ceremonies, is intended to connect us to one another, to meaning, to the mystery. Today, we honor the great flow of energy on earth, those sparks of life within us all. And all of this service is ceremony, the ritual of lighting the chalice, the singing together, the sharing together, the silence together, and those flickering, flaring flashes of flash paper. And so I invite you to just be here now and present with an open heart. Today we gather by the campfire as well as the chalice. Our paper campfire and the crackling sounds of the YouTube fire that you heard earlier, which never seems to need having logs added. It's quite magical. Campfires that fire outside at night, this is our most ancient human tradition. Humans have used fire for hundreds of thousands of years to cook with, to warm us, to ward off predators, to act as a beacon. Ojibwe author Richard Wagamese says, "There is magic in the sound of a human voice augmented by the crackle of a fire. There's something ancient and eternal that stirs things within us, and you don't have to be a native person to understand that. Everyone from every culture has a fire and a story in their past." Each of us has had ancient ancestors who sat beside fires, and many of us continue that legacy of campfires while camping or at cottages or even at luxury resorts. Humans have a need for flickering flames. Just look at the popularity right now of electric fireplaces. Now, I've sat beside many campfires over my life, on the Atlantic shores of Prince Edward Island, on an island in Lake Superior, in the Rocky Mountains, in the Southwest Desert, but mostly at Ontario provincial parks from Pinery to Algonquin. I have camped all over this continent, and still I have never sat beside enough fires under the stars. This is a time of magic for me, being outside, feeling the earth under my feet, hearing the crackle of the logs, chatting with friends, looking up at the stars. I feel deeply alive and content beside a campfire. And sometimes I can just about feel just how old this act of sitting beside a campfire is. I catch a glimpse of that depth of time and history underlying the flames, the thousands upon thousands of years that people have sat by fire. And looking up into the sky, seeing those stars, I sometimes can just get a sense of the vastness of time and space. Once we camped in Death Valley in California, and the sky is big down there. It's held by low mountains. And we sat beside our campfire, and there was a young man at another site, and he began playing a guitar across the way. And he played beautifully, and the music was this gift as the sky slowly filled with stars. And that was the night that I got to see the Milky Way galaxy in all of its glory. We are so small, and the universe so huge. For me, that was a night of wonder. And I love this about campfires, that it pulls us, tiny little us, into the vast depths of time and space. It puts us in our place, so to speak. And that doesn't make me feel insignificant. It makes me feel held. held by all that is, held by ancestors that go back into the time before history, doing what I'm doing, held by the light of stars billions of years away. And I find great comfort in this big perspective. And for me, that's the power of the campfire, to remind me that I'm a small part of this great and wondrous whole that in its wholeness is wonderful. And I like that feeling of history, of the depth of knowing that I'm one in this long chain of people, of all the ancestors who've lived and lived by fire. Chickasaw writer Linda Hogan says, "Suddenly all my ancestors are behind me. Be still," they say. "Watch and listen. You are the result of the love of thousands." You are the result of the love of thousands. You are held with love. So say we all. You're in a valley at night under a great expanse of sparkling stars. The valley's open, there are clumps of trees scattered throughout the meadow, and the air is crisp. You're glad you are bundled up warmly. Just ahead, you can see flames flickering. There's a campfire, the flames are roaring merrily. There's comfortable benches all around it. You walk towards the fire and sit on one of the benches, stretching your hands to its warmth. The wood crackles, the flames flicker high, sparks fly up towards the stars. You breathe slowly, your body relaxing into this place, this time. The earth cradles your feet, the night air hugs your body. And as you stare into the flames, watching them flicker with life, you hear people sit on the other benches. Ancestors are joining you from long ago and far away, from right here and nearby. Who has joined you at the campfire? Blood ancestor, a spiritual ancestor, prophetic person you admire, a kindred spirit, beloved family, who shares your fire? What ancestors have come to join you? You all sit there together, held in the warmth of the fire, cradled by the earth, the stars watching over. And your ancestors speak softly. What is their message to you? As the fire crackles, what do your ancestors want you to know? Hold their message in your heart. Thank the ancestors for the wisdom, and as you watch the fire slowly burn down, a guitar begins to play.